When I was looking to replace the terrible stock tires on my 2021 Forester Premium, I wanted something that could do everything well. The obvious answer, it would seem, would be the Michelin Cross Climate 2. They are extremely respected in just about every possible category that you see tests for, but one that you really don't so much usually is off-road. I had seen some complaints that gravel was causing damage to the tread, and also if you were to ever have any kind of alignment issues or anything like that, the directional tread limits the amount of ways in which you can rotate the tires and potentially help try to compensate for small problems that you may have encountered like that. About 2 years ago, when I was looking for replacement tires, there were actually a good handful of hot new light off-road type of tires coming out, and there was a lot of hype and this and that, but once I would see the numbers, it just felt like something was just missing a little here or there, whether it was fuel economy, noise, wet traction, whatever it may be. So I kept on falling back onto the classic Yokohama Geolandar G015, the very tire that comes stock on most wilderness models of Subarus. At the time, I was seeing some reviews on YouTube from people driving with them on big trucks and some sporty cars, but I didn't see a ton of Subaru test reviews. So I wasn't 100% sure, but upon further research into some old school type forums, there were a decent amount of people saying that they were having great experiences, so I decided to go for it. So far, they have been exactly what I was looking for. The tire that does everything pretty good. Of course, most tires don't have too much of a struggle in the dry. No complaints there. In rain and hydroplaning type conditions, I've been satisfied. I do think that my old tires, the Continentals that I reviewed a while back, were better. Like, they seemed almost invincible to me in the rain like that. These aren't quite on that level, but once again, does it safely. I don't have too much worry that I'm going to just randomly spin off like I was a little concerned in the past. Coming from Florida, the whole driving in the snow thing was a little concerning at first, but luckily these tires have done a solid job with that. With the exception of extremely slushy snow, they do seem to kind of lose it in that pretty quickly, but just about any other snow condition that I've encountered, they've been solid and reliable. On gravel roads, they've been excellent. My previous tires, it felt like I was kind of drifting on ice on some of these roads, and these have completely removed any of that type of sensation. Locked in, sticky, solid. Even in more demanding environments, the Yokohamas came through. I was driving up to the top of a mountain where a couple had purchased a house on the very, very top, and the road to get there was so slippery and steep that they were advising people to not drive their vehicles up, and they were just shuttling people up in these huge jacked up dually 4x4 type trucks. But I had a ton of camera equipment in the back, and I really didn't want to go through the effort of unloading it all, putting it, it's a hassle. So I just was like, hey, can I give it a shot? And they were like, I guess so. And I could see right away at first, I was a little concerned, pretty darn steep. And I was feeling the tires slip a little bit because it was very gravelly and very uphill. But then I hit the X mode button on my Subaru, and as soon as I did that, all of that went away and I climbed the thing completely smoothly. No scary moments, no surprises, no nothing, just completely glued to the ground. Of course, I did take a little bit of a mileage hit replacing the stock tires with these, but it's not any more than pretty much any aftermarket tire would be after getting off of the stock tires, which are oftentimes formulated specifically for mileage and not necessarily for much else. I also haven't noticed any increased road noise, which is a pleasant surprise. I've heard that the more aggressive tread you go, the louder it'll be, but apparently to this degree, it's nothing that I'm detecting. So there you have it. It really is an excellent, tried and true, all around good tire. If you're in a similar situation to me, I'd suggest you give it a shot. If you are dealing with, more extreme winter conditions, then this probably isn't the way to go, at least not for winter. But if you're in a kind of a lower snow area like I am, it could completely be a year-round answer.